Hello, my name is Stacey Penn and welcome to this podcast on the John Terry racism scandal. In October 2011, John Terry caused uproar within the footballing community and the nation for the racist comments made towards an opposing player. The events during the match quickly ensued into a media scandal heightening the negative image perceptions of John Terry. This podcast will explain how the scandal facilitated the need for John Terry to implement a number of strategies to repair the damage to his public image and reputation. Throughout this podcast, the terms crisis and scandal are used synonymously. The podcast will consider the definition of a crisis within sport media as suggested by Nicholson 2007 and the scandal definition by Lowell and Hinneman 1997. On the 23rd of October 2011, John Terry was captaining Chelsea in a Premier League match against QPR. During the 85th minute, John Terry and a QPR player, Anton Ferdinand, appeared to abusively exchange words with one another, with John Terry uttering a racial obscenity towards Ferdinand. The following day, the Metropolitan Police announced that they had received a complaint about the language used by John Terry. The FA also confirmed that they had received a complaint from QPR. On the 1st of November 2011, the Metropolitan Police announced that they had launched a formal investigation into the case. Despite this, during the same week, John Terry was still selected to represent England and captain the team. Potentially the turning point of the scandal for John Terry was a statement from the Crown Prosecution Service announcing that he had been charged with racially abusing Anton Ferdinand. The court case date was set during the Euro 2012 tournament, forcing the defender out of the competition. Following this, in February 2012, the FA chose to relieve John Terry of the England captaincy for the second time in his career, ultimately resulting in the England manager resigning just 2 days later. In July 2012, John Terry was cleared of racially abusing Anton Ferdinand during the QPR match, but despite this, the FA still charged John Terry with using abusive and/or insulting words and/or behaviour. On the 23rd of September 2012, John Terry announced his retirement from the England team the day before the FA hearing. Finally, on the 27th of September 2012, John Terry was banned for 4 matches and given a £220,000 fine for the use of insulting words which included references to Ferdinand's race or colour. The racial act of John Terry could be viewed as a player transgression. According to Wilson, Stavros and Westberg 2008, a player transgression within sport can relate to on or off-field incidents that are out of the ordinary and may bring negative repercussions for stakeholders. Crosby also suggests that a transgression has a detrimental impact on an athlete's or organisation's relationship with important publics, such as investors, sponsors, fans and broadcasters. Based on John Terry's previous history of transgression, the likelihood of the player transgressing again was inevitable. The media had to simply wait for another transgression to be committed to release another scandal involving him. In this case, multiple transgressions by an individual group meant that the scandal became systematic and the impact upon stakeholders was unfortunately high. Portraying a good image to publics within the sporting industry is crucial. The challenge for an individual in a crisis is to develop and implement strategies to limit the damage caused. Once an individual is held responsible for an act that is viewed to be offensive, the need for image restoration exists. Benoit 1997 developed the image repair discourse theory to allow organisations to formulate an approach when a crisis occurs and creates the need for image restoration. The theory comprises of 5 strategies. Firstly, denial, whereby the accused simply denies any responsibility in committing the offensive act and looks to shift the blame. Throughout the crisis, John Terry categorically denied using racist language towards Anton Ferdinand. The video shown provides the audio from the court case of John Terry's denial.
They kicked the ball out, and supposedly we're supposed to give it back, but being down to 9 men and being a goal behind, we didn't pass it back. And then I think this then comes after. So Anton knocks me to the ground, as you say, and then I think we have words together then that he was saying we should have given the ball back. I can't remember exactly then between me and him there. But it was with regards to, as I said, what happened, that when I should have given the ball back, or when the team should have given the ball back from the throw-in anyway.
Okay.
And then, turn around and face play, and Paddy Kenny's, I think, about to take the kick, and me and Anton having an altercation still. I feel as though he's said to me, a black. Now, I don't at any point think he's calling me a black.
Yeah.
I think he's accusing me of calling him a black in the altercation we've had.
Okay.
And then, obviously, it's, and even in my statement, it's clear to say that I repeat what he said and then call him at the end of that. I've been called a lot of things in my football career and outside of football as well, but being a racist is not one I'm prepared to take at all, and that's why, I come out and made my statement instantly. And I'm not having anyone, and let alone Anton, think that at all about me, because that's not my character at all.
The second strategy is evasion of responsibility, providing the accused with four options: provocation, defeasibility, accident and good intentions. For the purpose of this podcast, only provocation will be discussed. Provocation suggests that the act was merely a response to another's offensive act and that the behaviour can be seen as a reasonable reaction. Throughout the court trials, John Terry stated that he was only responding in anger to the language and taunts Ferdinand was making towards him. The third strategy that could be used is reducing offensiveness, whereby an organisation or individual tries to reduce the offensiveness of an act in order to reduce the negative connotations associated to the scandal and the accused. According to Benoit 1997, this image repair strategy has 6 versions, but again, for the purpose of this podcast, I will only discuss one of them: bolstering. The accused could use acts of bolstering to reinforce the stakeholders' positive feelings towards them, in order to offset the negative feelings connected with the wrongful act. During the course of the scandal, John Terry and his supporters maintained that he was not a racist. In the statement released after the aforementioned racist comment was made, John Terry used bolstering in the quote, "I'm the proud captain of one of the most internationally diverse teams in the Premier League, and I absolutely believe there is no place for racism in sport and indeed in any walk of life." John Terry tried to reduce the negative offset of his actions by showing that, firstly, he understands that racism is not acceptable, and secondly, it could be inferred that he is suggesting he cannot possibly be racist because he plays within a diverse team. Corrective action is the fourth strategy available to the accused, in which they promise stakeholders they can take measures to repair the damage they have caused. Due to the offensive nature of the act, it was impossible for John Terry to repair the relationship with Ferdinand. In spite of this, there were still options for him to begin to rectify the situation and prevent it from happening again. Firstly, he accepted the FA charge and ban, showing an understanding to his stakeholders of his actions. Secondly, John Terry took steps to ensure that the act would not happen again by pledging to continue to assist the club to remove all types of discriminatory behaviour from football. The final strategy for image restoration is the process of mortification, through which the individual communicates their responsibility to the offensive action and asks the stakeholders for forgiveness. On the 18th of October 2012, 361 days after the racist words were uttered, John Terry issued a final statement apologising, and this quote can be seen on the screen now. Notably, within this statement, John Terry does not apologise to Ferdinand personally. In doing so, would contradict the defence he has maintained and therefore make him eligible for a lawsuit. Despite his best efforts at restoring his image, John Terry continued to face backlash from a number of key stakeholders within football for his conduct during the scandal. The impact of the scandal had a detrimental effect on John Terry's playing career, public image and relationships with some of his key stakeholders. My references are provided. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope you have enjoyed it.